Welcome to B&H Creators Green Room, and just like a real green room, we're here to spill the tea with some of our favorite creators. Without further ado, I'm going to have Dylan Lemay join us today. Hi, Dylan.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining. First of all, you are personally responsible for me breaking all of my macros this summer.
I
I
hear that a
can't stop watching.
lot.
And if listeners don't know, Dylan is a fantastic ice cream creator, food creator. He has honestly the most viral food pages I've ever seen because your content is so delicious and spectacular. I want to know everything. Like, how did this start? Like, were you a kid who was like obsessed with dessert?
When I was a kid, my family, we'd usually eat ice cream almost every night. Like it was like a
Mm.
normal thing. It was like a family thing. We'd all get around the TV and eat a bowl of ice cream. And until answering questions like this, I didn't know that wasn't normal. I thought everyone's family ate ice cream like almost every night before bed.
Yeah, like a sweet treat. I get it.
Yeah.
And then how did content start? Were you a pandemic creator too?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So it started in 2020, but my goal wasn't to become a content creator. I had worked at Cold Stone for a long time. I worked there for 9.5 years in total. But
Wow.
during the pandemic, I was managing a Cold Stone in Missouri. And one of the girls, she's like, "Hey, I want to become TikTok famous." We started making videos at work together. And then eventually I like became obsessed with it. Like I watched 14 hours of TikTok in one day. Like I was just like consuming content like crazy. So I was just like studying the algorithm of like what are people doing? What are people watching? What are the common threads between viral videos? And eventually I posted my first video and it got 300,000 views. And I was like, okay, I get it. And then eventually I had a video that I posted I thought was really stupid.
Mhm.
But then it got 7 million views in the first day. By the second
It's
day, all of my comments were coming from Australia. And I was like, this video is like global at this point. It's crazy. Um, and then 56 days after I posted that 300,000 viewed video, I hit 1 million followers on TikTok. This is insane.
wow. That's insane. Do you remember which video? Like, can you describe the video?
Me teaching you as if it was your first day at Cold Stone. So I was like, we're gonna wash our hands, we're gonna put on our hat and our apron, we're gonna scoop out of ice cream, and I told you like how to put the toppings in. And so it was like I was training you to work your first day. And people ate it up because they were like, "How is he filming this? Is his phone floating? Like, where's the camera?" It was just there were so many things that attracted people to the video, and no one was doing anything like it at the time. And so it was just like this like shock value. It just sucked people in.
Oh my gosh. And I feel like people love a day in the life in
For
any.
sure. I was gonna say it was very much a day in the life, but through like such a fresh new perspective that people were just drawn to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And how did Cold Stone react, or were they just so supportive?
Honestly, they're a huge company, but also a
Mhm.
really small company all at the same time. And so they were so busy trying to figure out the pandemic. So there's a kid somewhere doing some things and people are watching it. And so eventually I was like, are you guys gonna at least just like say hi to me? And so I made a video and I was like, can you just say hi, you know? And so then they called me and they're like, hey, sorry, it's just been really rough for us. What would you like to do? So we just kind of decided that it'd be best if I just did my thing, they do their thing. Um, everything's friendly and fun, but like we don't like work together, so to say.
Okay. Oh, I feel like that's such a missed opportunity on their end. Like, there's so much like brand collaboration. Yeah.
Yeah, I outgrew what they would be able to do, and so
Hmm.
for me to like get my videos cleared by them and stuff like that, it's just the budget. It just doesn't make sense for either of us.
And
Yeah,
then you've done a lot of brand work, I'm sure, over this
yeah.
journey. How does that work? And do you have any like tips for maybe new creators in the food spaces? Like, I've heard a lot of creators say, like, I just make content with like my favorite restaurant and just kind of see how that pops off first.
Yeah, I think starting out, I wouldn't necessarily focus on like how to get deals. I think at the beginning, just focus on how to be the best creator,
Mhm.
and those opportunities will come to you. For me, like I do have difficulty getting deals because the type of content I make sometimes doesn't like work well for brands. But the thing that's worked out really well for me is that I have a ton of really good relationships with small businesses. I like to use my content. Like I more so focus on AdSense. For
Mhm.
me, that's where I make most of my money rather than brand deals. And so for me, like I do a lot of free promo for small businesses. So like I'll go to approach like a local business or they'll approach me, and I just be like, hey, what are the things that make you special? Okay, how do we make 10 videos about those things and post them? And then how do I make it so that I get enough views on that that I can sustain what I do, but also support like local businesses? And that's been one of the most like rewarding parts of all of this for me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And now
Yeah.
for creators who are listening who maybe they're new, they don't even know what AdSense is, can you
Yeah.
explain kind of that versus a brand deal?
On most platforms, not all of them, but most of them, they pay you for the views that you can generate. And it can get very complicated, but just the simplest form of it is they will pay you for a certain kind of view. And so eventually, as you meet certain thresholds, you're able to get money based on the people that watch your videos.
And do you have a platform that you found um, maybe is the best like one to start off with? Because I know a
Yeah.
lot of creators are like scared to kind of they will batch content and then just repost that content everywhere. And then some people are like, that's not a great strategy.
I think one of the best pieces of advice I got was
Mhm.
somebody that works at YouTube, and they said, do whatever keeps you in the game the longest. And that applies to so many aspects of being a content creator. Um, and so for you, if that means batching content and posting it everywhere, then do that. You know, if that's what's going to be most sustainable for you to be a creator long term, then you should do that. If something else works out better for you, where you make certain videos for each platform because that's what performs better, and you are able to do that, then do that. You know, it's really figuring out like what works best for you, and what you enjoy the most, because that's what's most important. Like, what is going to make you be a creator for the long haul?
That's such a good tip for burnout too, because I feel like
Yes.
it will keep you from burning out, right? Like if you're
Yeah.
still passionate about it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And then what about for you? I mean, obviously you've been doing this for so many years now and you have so many
Yeah.
millions of followers. Do you feel like it's still a passion or do you have to kind of re-energize yourself every now and then and be like, no, I'm choosing this. Like I have to get the fun back.
Yeah, no, I love that question, and it's so, like, pertinent to where I'm at right now.
Mhm.
Just to give you, like, a short timeline of it all, so I started creating content when I worked at Cold Stone, in 2020. I lived in Springfield, Missouri, and I was a manager of a Cold Stone, and all of my content was me just day in the life of, like, I'm decorating ice cream cakes today, I'm making batches of ice cream, and then that worked for, like, 6 months or so, and then it grew so big that I was like, "If I wanna be a good content creator, I need to quit my job." But
Mhm.
my job is my content, so what am I supposed to do?
Mhm.
And that's when I took 2021 to travel around the country and collaborate with as many content creators as I could and small businesses. And then during that time, I met people and they're like, "Do you wanna open your own ice cream shop?" So I moved to New York City. I opened my own ice cream shop. It was open for like a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Mhm.
And that was my content. I was like, "Oh, like, let me document this journey." And that was very difficult for me, because for majority of that, we were building a business, but I didn't have one. So my
Mhm.
content, it was hard. Um, then the ice cream shop's closed now. So this next chapter for me has been like, what are my videos now? And also I've changed so much. And so it's really difficult when you're kind of used to showing day in the life creating ice cream or desserts or whatnot, but you're not doing that daily anymore.
Mhm.
So I think I'm in a transition period right now, not only within myself, but also like with my content. And I
Mhm.
think really it's just being patient with yourself, not trying to like force something. Um, and just knowing that like in time you will figure it out. But to still keep testing things. So I think there's a lot of words, but my biggest takeaway for like a creator that's like struggling is that people show up to watch you be you. And
Yeah.
your goal is just to figure out how to best show who you are. Um, and sometimes that takes time to rediscover what that looks like.
Yeah, and I feel like creators put so much pressure on themselves to kind of maintain the niche that they find their first community in, and they don't give their self permission to evolve, right? Like I know so many
Yeah.
creators who maybe just aged out of their bracket in a sense, maybe like some women who like then became moms and they're like, well, my audience doesn't want to see like mom content now or like baby content. It's like your audience loves you for you and they're
Yeah.
probably also evolving with you and different stages are going to either hit or just find different communities, you know?
Yeah. And I think one thing that's really interesting that I think creators forget a lot is that we also were consumers at some point and we still are. And
Mhm.
I'm sure somebody that you watched when you were 10 years old or 14 years old, 16, 25, whatever it is, you don't follow that person anymore. And sometimes that's okay. Like our audience doesn't have to evolve with us sometimes. If you've connected with people before, it means you know how to do it again. And
Mm.
maybe that audience is different, maybe it's less people, but there's so many opportunities out there, and it's better to grow and find a new audience than to like kill yourself trying to keep an old audience. So it's really like trying to figure out like what works best for you and knowing that you can always find new people to watch you and to enjoy you and to go along with life with you.
Right, right. Yeah, that's I mean, just give yourself grace, I think is a
Yeah,
beautiful lesson no matter what career you're in. Um,
100%.
so I guess I was gonna say, where do you see yourself in a few years? But because it's such a transition stage, it's almost incredible that you don't need to answer that right now. Like you can take this time to figure it out. Are
Yeah.
there things on your list that you're like, I want to travel more, I want to do this more?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I want to focus on in the next few years is really building relationships with creators again. I think when I started the ice cream shop, I think I became so focused on my business and on myself that a lot of my relationships kind of fell through the cracks. So my goal for the next few years is to start going out more, collaborating with creators again, traveling to different places and businesses and making videos with them. Because like this is a very lonely job, and I
Mhm.
tell new creators all the time, like your coworkers and the people that you get through it with are other creators. Like your family can only understand so much and relate so much. And so I think it's really important to have a good network of creators around you that are going through similar things and can encourage you when you don't feel creative, and you can encourage them. And it's really that back and forth that creates some of the most beautiful content.
Yeah. Oh, I so agree. And I actually love that because we met at a community building event
Exactly.
through another creator. Yeah, Melissa Baker. Shout out Melissa.
Yeah.
And the Sweet Impact Robert, who we're
Yeah.
all good friends with, and is another dessert creator. And I think like micro events like that, where it can just be like 20 or 30 creators in the room who really get to chat and really get to like build community and like just to have that. And it was so much fun. Like we made cupcakes that night and everyone mingled and we had dinner. And the B&H creator team does this as well. Like we host our own events pretty regularly, and it's fully in line with what you're saying. It's really just to put creators in a space together where they can like learn about things, talk to each other, kind of boost each other up. And I think you're right, like that's so needed in the creator economy and is so undervalued.
Yeah, I think one of the most impactful moments for every creator is when you realize that this isn't a competition and that we all go further together. Like that will be the biggest change in your content is when you embrace that and understand that and truly like live that. Like the biggest milestones I've had is when I have worked with other people and we have created things together or even just shared ideas that were life changing for either of us. And I can look now beside me and look at other people that are super successful. And it's because we shared information, we worked together. And that doesn't even mean making a video together. That means literally just sharing what has worked for you and they share what works for them. And you put that together for yourself. Just work with other people. It's the
Oh,
best that can happen. Yeah.
totally agree. I feel like this is like back in the day it was like chicken soup for the soul. I feel like this is ice cream for the soul. The soul chat.
Ice cream has such a way with people. It's nice.
Yeah, yeah. And let's talk gear a little bit because you're one of my favorite creators in terms of like, I kind of alluded to this earlier. People love to kind of see the shots that are a little different.
Hmm.
And I worked in food content for a few years before I got to B&H. And we used to call it hands and pans.
Mm,
And it just meant all you saw in the content in the shot was like someone's hands or like the
yeah.
actual pans, like very Food Network adjacent. And I
Yeah.
feel like you're the DIY version of that. And so many creators are like, I don't know how to get those shots, or I need so much gear. So
Yeah.
how did you start? First of all, like, was your phone floating or did you have it like GoPro to your forehead?
Yeah, so I love this question, and I think it's a little ironic we're doing it on this podcast, is because like I record, edit, post all from my phone. Like I don't
Mm,
use anything else, and
okay.
that's because my goal wasn't to become the best creator in the world at the beginning, and
Hmm.
then I learned that you don't need fancy things to do all of that. They can definitely help, and it's to find the best things that work for you. In my moment, what I did to create the way that I filmed is that I was just solving a problem. And so I'm at work, I wanna make a video, no one else is with me, how do I record? I
Mhm.
don't have a cameraman. I have to be my own cameraman, but I need both my hands to make the ice cream. And so what I did is I took a tripod, a bendy one, I bent it around my neck, and then my phone was right here in front of my face. And then now I'm holding my camera, but I have both my
Mhm.
hands. And then I made my video, and I didn't think I was doing something genius. I just had a problem, and I solved my problem, and then I uploaded it, and it blew everyone's mind. Um, so my goal at the beginning wasn't to create this like moment. It was really just I have a problem, I need to fix it to make this video. And it really just evolved from there.
I'm obsessed with this answer. I feel like creators are literally the most ingenious, like just innovative people I've ever met because I would have spent probably $100,000 on an all day like studio shoot with like every piece of gear you can imagine to get like one little like fettuccine alfredo shot, like,
Yeah.
and then creators are like, no, like people just want to see the authentic experience. They want to like be brought into the experience. And sometimes, especially in TikTok, right? Like I feel like sometimes all the bells and whistles can almost create more distance for the
Yeah.
viewer, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. You know?
100%. No, I completely agree with you. I think one of the things that's helped me excel the most was like that I did something fresh and new, even though it was accidental.
Hmm.
Um, but it was really just because I was showing like people like, oh, you blew up overnight, like 56 days, you hit 1 million followers. It's like, yeah, because I was sharing something that I worked at for almost 10 years. Like
Hmm.
I was sharing the person that I made myself, not only skill wise, but like my videos are me just helping customers at Cold Stone, like as if you're the customer, like I'm talking to the way that I talk to people when I serve them ice cream. Um, and so really is like I just got to use a platform to convey who I already had spent almost 10 years building. I would say like if you're starting out now and you're worried about how to get where you're going or whatnot, just think about the things that you already do well right now. Then how do you
Hmm.
show more people those things?
Hmm. Yeah, our last guest said something so similar. Like, find the thing you're unique at too.
Yeah,
Like what makes you special,
100%.
and that's your content, right? Like that's your niche because
Yeah.
there's no way to fake it. Like people will want to know you for you.
Yeah. And, like, I did get lucky, like, my thing is ice cream, and everyone loves ice cream, you know? So it is, like, easier, but, like, you have to know too that, like, sometimes your thing, it may not be the biggest thing, but that doesn't mean that you can't be a successful creator. It doesn't mean that can't be your full-time job. I met a creator that his full-time job is reviewing office chairs. How is that a thing? It is. It is a huge thing, and he gets tons of deals,
Yeah.
full-time creator, reviewing office chairs. Like, you can do it about anything.
That's incredible. Yeah. I love the creators too. Like I met so many during the pandemic that were like doctors and
Yes,
were like, "Oh, I wanted to just like share some information." So I started a
yes,
TikTok. Yeah, and then like, these people that have like these degrees and these long established careers in different fields have like overnight turned into creators. And I
yeah,
feel like that's the beauty of it too, right? Like it's people are just storytellers at heart and
yes,
everyone
yeah, that's the
wants to hear
biggest
it.
thing,
Okay, let's talk about if we have to talk a little bit about ice cream because I'm sure
of
everyone's like
course.
dying. So, what's your favorite combo? And after the many years of making all the ice cream, any tips on how to get the perfect, I guess, smoothiest? Or you tell me. I'm not even gonna try.
Of course, of course. So, I'm glad that you said combo because everyone always says, "What's your favorite flavor?" And I'm like, "Ah, this question again," you know? It's like but I will
Yeah.
answer that for the people wondering. My favorite ice cream is cookie dough. But that's, like, probably process of elimination because there's so many
Hmm.
good ones.
Hmm.
But my favorite combo, this is if you just don't care about money and you just wanna, like, blow all your money. So, since I worked at Cold Stone, I can get a free ice cream, so that means I can kinda create whatever I want. And that led to a lot of insane combos. So, biggest combo is sweet cream ice cream, Oreos, white chocolate chips, regular chocolate chips, extra Oreos, coconut, almonds, fudge, sometimes caramel or caramel, however you say it. Um, and that's usually like if I really want to go all out on ice cream, that's the combo I'm gonna have. It sounds crazy, but I promise, just try it. It's like the best crazy combination of cookies and cream you could ever imagine. Um, so good, so good.
Wow. And I feel like what an elevated answer. I would have been
Thank you.
like, cookie dough. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's why I'm glad you said combo because that's my favorite, like, crazy combo. Um, But like tricks to getting the best ice cream,
Yeah,
it's really like whatever you're trying to go for and however you're trying to make it. Um, Ice cream is really hard to like go wrong with. If you're making ice cream at home, you'll learn really quick that like it's kind of just milk and some sweetness and some ice. And so you can't really go wrong with it. I think the biggest thing is just making sure you have fun and you enjoy it. Like I've made all kinds of weird recipes on YouTube with my niece and nephews, and like it comes out fine because it's just you can't really go wrong.
sure, sure. That makes sense. Okay, so we've been playing this little hot potato question game with all of our guests. So our last guest, Pete Monsingo, asked you a question that now we're going to ask you to answer, and then we're going to ask you to come up with a question for our next guest. Ready?
Yes, I'm nervous.
No, don't be. Pete asked, um, out on your whole creator journey, what's the biggest thing you regretted?
Mm.
He got a little deep. He got a little deep.
Yeah, I'm like regretted. It's hard for me to be like a regretful person because I feel like the bad times are some of the biggest opportunities for growth.
Hmm.
So I have to like kind of rethink how I would think about regret. I think what I always say is as a creator, the thing that you regret the most is the videos that you didn't make.
Mm,
Um, and so I would say that, but I'm also in a season right now where I'm not making a lot of videos. And I feel like one day I'll look back and be very regretful of this time. But I feel like those moments are also so like there's a reason why you're not creating actively right now. So I think for me, it is like the videos that I didn't create, but I understand why I'm not, but I'm still regretful of it. Is that a good answer?
that's a great answer. Honestly, I feel so similar. Like I'm not a person that lives with regret at all. Like you said, everything's a lesson
Yeah.
and a part of the journey. So I feel like you can't really look back. And everything's in hindsight, right? Like everything looks like, oh, I could have done this. And
Yeah.
that will not bring you any peace if you get stuck on that.
Yeah, I guess one thing that I would say like a regret, I think it's more of like a sadness I didn't understand at the time, is that
Mhm.
like your life in videos is not as important as your life outside of videos. And if you get so stuck in your video, one day you'll realize that your life around you has been severely affected. And so I
Mhm.
think a regret I do have, I guess, is not realizing that my life outside of my content creation is very important. I think it took me too long to realize that.
Yeah, it can be all consuming for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, making the content, editing the content, worrying about numbers and metrics and growth. And yeah, it is a lot of pressure on a lot of
Yeah.
extremely young people, usually, too.
And when the iron's hot, you want to keep hitting it. And, like you want to just keep getting stuff out there. And it can be very consuming.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, you sound like you're in a great space now. So I think
Thank
we're
you.
all very happy for you.
Lots of therapy.
Shout out therapy.
Amazing.
And now, do you have a question to pass on to our next guest?
Yes. My question is if you were to speak to your 7-year-old self right now, what would you tell them and why?
Oh my God, what a great question. I'm like trying to think what I would do. But what would you tell yourself?
What would I tell myself?
Yeah.
I would say, I would love to give you a hug. I'm so proud of who you are and who you will grow to be. And yeah, I just tell myself that I'm so proud of who I've grown to be and the perseverance that I've had through so much.
Ugh, well, literally, we're pun intended, the sweetest human I've ever talked to. So
Oh,
you
thank you.
should be so proud of yourself. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I know so many viewers probably got so much out of this. It was very, very impactful. And we appreciate your time, Dylan.
No, thank you. I thank you guys. I appreciate this.
Yeah. Okay. And where can everyone follow you? Let them know.
Yeah, so on most platforms, it's just my name, Dylan Lemay. If it's not that, like things like Instagram, it's DJ Lemay too.
And everyone can follow us as well at bh.creators on Instagram and bh creators on TikTok. And we'll see you in the next one.